In this video, we will be looking into type of test items that are generally used in achievement test. There are two type of test items: objective type items and essay type items. Objective type items are further classified into supply type and selection type. In supply type items, the stem of the objective type item is followed by correct response and distractors, and the respondee should select the correct answer from the options. That is supply type items. The responses are supplied along with the items and have to select the correct answer from the supplied responses. In the selection type items, the stem of the item will be an incomplete statement, and from the given responses, the respondee have to select the correct answer and fill in the statement, and the correct responses should be selected from the given responses. That is selection type. In essay type items, it is classified into two types, that is extended response type and restricted response type. In extended response type, there is freedom for the respondee to answer the essays without any restrictions. And in restricted response, the thing is that the question should be answered within a limited number of words or space provided for the respondee. Now we can look into detail about objective test items. First one is MCQ, that is multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions will be having a stem. A stem means a direct question or an incomplete statement, and followed by responses. Responses are generally more than two or more than two. We find in many objective type systems, the responses will be provided in numbers 4 or 5. And the other important aspect is distractors. Distractors are incorrect answers. Incorrect answers should be given along with the responses, and the respondee should select the correct answer from the options given, and distractors should be very carefully included in the options. How to construct MCQ? MCQs, we should use meaningful statements as stems of MCQs. We should be very careful in maximizing the discriminating power of the items and options provided in MCQs. An adequate number of responses should be included in the MCQs is another thing that we have to look into. The phrasing of the stem is very important as far as MCQ is considered. It should be simple and unambiguous. No confusion should be avoided in the item, and it should be very clear. Clarity is another thing that we have to look into. The phrasing of MCQ stems. The distractors given in the options should be thoroughly wrong. It should not be partially correct in any manner. It should be thoroughly wrong, and that is one important thing that we have to look into. Correct answer occupy different answer position. If we have 10 number of items, objective type MCQs in a test paper, the distribution of correct answer and the position of the correct answer in the MCQs should be different, and it should not be guessable very easily. That is, all the answers should not be having correct responses at option B or option C. If the options are A, B, C, D or E, it should be equally distributed in the items. An item should only contain only one correct answer, and the correct answer should be the best answer. That is the one thing we have to look into. And the other thing is that there should not be any clue in the stem regarding what the correct answer should be. The stem and item responses should not have any connections. The length of the alternatives should be approximately equal. The length of the stem should not be very long or very short, and that is the one thing that we have to look into. The stem of the items should be approximately size or number of words in the stem should be approximately equal. Important aspect as far as distractors is considered: weak distractors, that is partially correct answer, possible partially correct answer should not be included as options. Only thoroughly wrong distractors should be used as options in the MCQs. The stem should not be ambiguous, and all the alternatives should be grammatically consistent with the stem of the item. Grammatically correct simple statement should be used in the as stems, and it should be very clear. The idea of in the stem should be very clear to the respondee, and it should be unambiguous. The other type of objective test item is alternative response items. We say true or false items. Here the respondee is asked to read and indicate whether the stem provided is true or false. Here the important thing is to be considered that double negative statement should not be used in the alternative response type items. Statement must be either entirely true or entirely false. And the statement must not be complex and indirect. Indirect statement should not be used in the alternative response type items. And if there are 6 items in alternative response items, the distribution of true and false items should be equal. That is, 3 true false items should be there and 3 should be false. That will help in reducing the chance of guesses going to be correct. True statements and false statements should be approximately equal in length. The length of the statement should also be considered in alternative response items. It should not be like true statements are lengthier and false statements are shorter. The respondee should not be able to guess out like that in any manner from the statements. The other type of objective test items are matching type, like match the following items. That is a modified version of multiple choice test items. Here, a set of problems with an order shuffled answer set. The stem here should be provided with the possible answers, and the answers should be shuffled. Answers should be shuffled properly. The premises and responses should be provided very carefully. We should keep the match the following items short. That is, maximum number of 10 items should be used, and the number of responses should exceed the number of premises. Homogeneity of the premises should be very much considered. We should not include premises which are not homogeneous, or the from a single area. The premises should be from a selected single area It should not be easily identifiable for the respondee. We should not provide equal number of premises and responses that we have already said. The responses should exceed the number of premises. Important aspect regarding the instruction should be clearly provided before the test item what the respondee have to do with the premises and responses. Other type of objective test item is completion type. Completion type item here, the thing is that the respondee has to fill up the missing part of a sentence, series or graph from the given responses. Here the important thing is that we should not be using ambiguous statements or sentences as stems. And we should avoid questions which are having more than one answer. And regarding the construction of completion test item, we should not omit too many words from a single statement. Only the key word should be omitted from the statement. Locate a blank at the end of the statement. We should be providing a blank at the end of the statement and never begin with a blank. The completion type item should not begin with a blank. The blank should be at the end of the